Welcome to Biff's Mystery Theater. I have many tales to tell you. Ghost stories, murder stories, and tales that will make your bones chill. Join me, won't you? For Theater of the Mind, where you always have the best seat in the house. Now close your eyes and turn off the lights.
Night beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the night beat for the Chicago Star. You know, stories start many different ways, but this one began modestly enough with a 0 on a typewriter. That's right, cipher, naught, nothing. But to one man of Chicago's 4 million, that 0 meant death.
Night beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Rudy Stone.
Mine is a funny kind of a job. When that evening sun goes down, I start walking through the dark city, peering into bleak alleys, wandering through the bright neon, listening to the sounds of a city at night, the whisper of footsteps, the shattering roar of an L train, the sob of an ambulance siren. I wander up the boulevards, down the back streets, searching for something in the dark city. And what exactly is it that I seek? Brother, it's something more elusive than the farthest star. I seek the city's heart. Tonight I must have walked for miles. The cold wind off Lake Michigan, ad-libbing with my ribs and the hot breath of my deadline biting into my neck. Then ahead of me I saw that friendly oasis in the darkness, Benny's all-night beanery, otherwise known as Tomaine Junction. Throwing caution to the winds, I started through the door for a cup of coffee.
Operator, answer me.
Nobody around but Benny polishing the counter,
Operator,
and this little blonde yapping excitedly into the wall phone near the door.
Please hurry.
Such devotion, somebody should get that excited over me.
Hello, Mrs. Warren. Yes, we were disconnected. Has he come home yet, Mrs. Warren?
How are you, Benny? How's the bicarbonate king?
Oh, hiya, Randy. You always say that, but you keep coming back.
Gluttons of punishment.
Oh, you've got to find him. You've just got to.
Get her.
What's with her, Benny?
No, 25 calls she makes like that. 25 times she gets the same answer. 25 times she comes over to get more nickels.
Business is good, huh?
A hole in the head. What's in it for me making change all night?
Give me some change. Please, Nichols.
Lady, sooner or later I gotta run out. This is it.
I gotta have some.
I don't make 'em here, lady. Now, will you
then
please...
any change. Quarters, dimes.
Let me take a look, see if I have any.
Oh, yes, please do. But hurry. Please, hurry. I gotta reach him.
Randy, make with the catch. She's passing out.
Oh, easy, lady, easy.
Out cold.
Coffee, Benny, quick. There's one thing I'll say. If Gabriel's trumpet doesn't succeed in waking the dead, all they've got to do is send for some of Benny's coffee. After I got a couple of sips down the girl's throat, she started coming out of it. Tears rolling down her face, her whole body trembling with sobs. Oh, come on now. Now stop it, honey. Stop it.
What happened to me?
You passed out, but good.
What time is it?
Oh, it's 9:45.
I've got to find him. I've just got to.
Oh, now, take it easy. You're still shaky. Now, come on. Have a few more sips of this so-called coffee.
Oh, no.
Well, if you think Benny's coffee is bad, you ought to try his hamburgers.
I've just got to find him.
Who have you got to find?
The man.
What man?
The man I killed.
Ask a foolish question, you get a foolish answer. Only before I could ask any more questions, the little lady was on her way out of the place. I looked at Benny just to make sure he'd heard the same thing I had. He'd heard. His mouth was hanging open like somebody had taken out the hinges. I left the bean room and started after the girl. At first, I thought I'd lost her. Then I saw her sagging against the side of a building under the elevator tracks on Dearborn Street. She saw me coming. Oh, I'm just an old busybody.
I don't know what to do. I'm going crazy. I should call Mrs. Warren again. Maybe he came home.
Who?
That man.
The man you killed, huh? Well, that makes sense. Now, listen.
Oh, you don't understand. You just don't understand.
This you can be sure of.
I've got to find him. I've just got to.
You've killed him, but you've got to find him. Yeah.
I must go. Please let me go.
I'm not holding you, kid.
I don't know where to turn.
You don't want to go anyplace, do you? You want help? All right, here it is.
I don't know you.
My name is Stone. Now that we're formally introduced.
The newspaper columnist?
Well, man's got to eat.
Oh, maybe you can help. Maybe you can, Mr. Stone.
Yeah, but first I've got to know why you keep calling the home of the man you killed to see if he's gotten in yet. This is slightly confusing.
All right, I'll tell you. My name is Ruth Baker. I'm receptionist and secretary for Dr. Stanley Loring.
The specialist?
Yes.
Go ahead.
There was a man, Philip Warren. A week ago, he saw Dr. Loring for an examination. Today, this afternoon, he came back for the report. I was in the outer office when Mr. Warren left the consultation room. He looked strange. Strange and frightened.
Will you give me a cigarette, Miss Baker?
Oh, certainly, Mr. Warren. Here. There's a lighter on the table.
Never mind. I don't want a cigarette.
Is there anything wrong?
Hey, what time have you got?
3:15.
You're a minute slow.
All that?
But a minute is important. Very important.
If you're going to catch a train.
No, it's always important.
Well, yes, I suppose it is.
Oh, yes. You know, I've lived all my life that way. Paying attention to time. Being punctual. My wife considers it a nuisance. Do you?
Oh, I'm afraid I hadn't thought
You
of...
should. Everyone should. Time. Have you thought how many different ways one tells time? It can whisper in an hourglass, or tinkle in the tiny little clock, or it can roar. Or...
Yes?
All my life it's been important to me. Now he won't tell me when. All he says is sometime. That's not fair, Miss Baker. It's not right.
Oh, look, Mr. Warren, perhaps you'd better lie down.
Oh, no. I've got several things to do. Many things, in fact.
I see.
You don't. But that doesn't matter at all. You know, in my office I can hear the chimes of the clock in the tower above me. I've always listened to them. I like them because time is important. But I never heard them chime midnight.
Midnight?
I guess midnight is a special time. It's either tomorrow or today. It's in between. Tells a man that the day is over. Another one's going to begin. It's like standing on the edge. Goodbye, Miss Baker. Goodbye, Miss Baker.
Yes, Doctor.
Miss Baker, will you come in, please?
Right away.
Warren gone, Miss Baker?
Yes, he just left, Dr. Loring.
Yeah, that was certainly unexpected. I was almost certain it wasn't that serious. Well, put his examination report back, will you?
Yes, sir.
The closed file, Miss Baker.
The closed?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was it?
An inoperable condition?
Oh, now I see.
See what, Miss Baker?
Why he acted so strangely.
Oh, don't worry. You'll go home, think about it. When the first shock wears off, you'll accept it. What else can he do? What else can anyone do?
After that, I went back to my desk, Mr. Stone. I was checking my files, and
Come on, Ruth, what?
I made a mistake. A horrible mistake.
What was it?
Well, when a patient comes in for examination, only Dr. Loring knows his name. The technical laboratory has only a number on a card. Mr. Warren's was 5129. I typed it wrong. I typed 5120.
The card number of another patient.
It was a mistake. I put Mr. Warren's name under the wrong laboratory number. A number of a man who is going to die.
Certainly Dr. Loring will be able to tell if Warren...
It's just a routine checkup would indicate symptoms. It took actual laboratory work to make certain.
Oh, I see.
He'll kill himself. He's that kind of a man. And if he does, I've killed him, murdered him. And if I don't want to live. I'll kill myself.
Oh, now, come on. Now, there's no time for that. Does Dr. Loring know?
I told him right away.
And he tried to reach Warren?
Oh, we've been trying since this afternoon.
At his home?
Everywhere. He must have gone home first because he left his wife a note.
Suicide note?
Yes.
Ruthie, come on, let's go.
Oh, where?
Warren's home. And if he's not there, well, Chicago's a big city. It'll be tough finding one man among 4 million people. But we can try.
I found the note when I got home, Mr. Stone. I knew Philip went to see Dr. Loring, but I didn't know...
Just the note and nothing else, Mrs. Warren?
No, nothing.
You called the police right away?
Well, of course I did.
And you haven't left this apartment?
Not for a second.
Well, didn't he phone, try to get in touch with you at all?
No, Miss Baker, he did not. And if my husband isn't found before he killed himself, I'll see to it that you...
I'm telling you it was a mistake. Anyone could make a mistake like that.
Mistake? To make a man believe he's going to die in horrible pain? No, that's no mistake. That's murder. The cruelest kind of murder.
Don't, please.
Get out of here and leave me alone.
Wait
Get
a minute,
out.
wait a minute, Mrs. Warren. Why crucify this kid because she made a mistake that could happen only once in a million years?
To my husband.
To anyone.
Oh, leave me alone.
You want to find him, don't you?
Well, now, what kind of a question is that?
A nice, reasonable question. You want to find him. All right, help us.
But what can we do? By midnight, he'll be dead. The note he left said so.
Someone's at the door.
It might be him.
I'll get it.
Irma.
Mr. Warren?
Warren? Why, no.
Paul.
Yes.
Paul, what did you find out?
Oh, nothing. I checked every precinct station between here and the Oak Street beach.
Paul, this is Mr. Stone. And the girl who...
I see.
Paul is a friend of Philip's.
Yeah, there's nothing you said?
No one's seen him.
And no suicide report?
Not his.
It's 10 now. We've got 2 hours to find him.
You know, that bothers me. Why should he choose exactly 12 o'clock to die?
If you knew my husband, you'd understand why. The ticking of the clock was the most important thing in his life. You could set your watch by his schedule. Up at 7:30 in the morning. Never 7:28. Never 7:31, 7:30. Breakfast at 10 minutes to 8.
Irma, we haven't time to worry about Philip's idiosyncrasies right now. We've got to find him. As the young lady said, we've only got 2 hours.
I'm sorry.
Try to think the way he would. What does he do for those 2 hours? Where does he go? What does he want to see?
He's lived all his life doing things exactly the same way. That's all.
Well, that's something.
What are you getting at, Stone?
Well, I was just thinking. Nobody ever lets go of life without holding on to something else. Nobody knows whether you can take a memory with you or not. Maybe it's just a face, a melody, a favorite place. Nobody knows, but we like to think so.
Well, Philip...
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, that Philip would want to die exactly as he'd lived, knowing exactly when and where.
That's what I mean, Mrs. Warren.
What?
I want a list of every place your husband might go.
But...
Tell him, Irma.
Well, there are so many places.
100, 1,000. What's the difference? Write them down.
I'll go with you, Stone.
No, you stay here with Mrs. Warren. Somebody's got to be here if he shows up. And step on it with that list, Mrs. Warren. Got a lot of places to cover by midnight. If we haven't found him, then we can cut our list down to one place. The county morgue.
Night Beat stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
Fine find one man out of 4 million people, find one place out of 1,000 square miles of city, and do it in 2 hours, 120 minutes. A long chance? Compared to our job, a buck on the Irish sweepstakes was money in the bank. We had 2 things in our favor. One, Mrs. Warren had called the police. 1,000 cops at Warren's description. 2, Warren himself. The way he lived was a clue to the way he might die. On time, punctual. But where? The first place on this list was a little restaurant where he sometimes ate. They knew him there, all right.
Mr. Warren? Yes, I know him.
Has he been in here tonight?
Tonight?
Yes, tonight.
I see you don't know Mr. Warren very well. Mr. Warren comes here on Tuesday evenings only. This is Monday.
Cross off one place. Go to the next. Yes, they knew Mr. Warren. No, he hasn't been in tonight. This is Monday. He comes here only on Fridays. Grab a cab and hurry on. Watching the minutes go by. Watching Ruthie die a minute at a time. Telling her no matter how bad we were doing, the cops would find him for sure. The cigar store, where he stopped for cigarettes, missed him by an hour. The Newsreel Theater, sure, an old customer, but he comes on Wednesday for the new weekly show. Ruthie wanting to call Mrs. Warren again to see if the police had found him yet, but no time. 40 minutes gone, an hour lost, going down the list.
Hey, Ben,
Hey, kid.
Oh, paper, mister?
No, not right now. Listen to me. Every night a man stops by here. His name is Warren.
Oh, I know. What about him?
Oh, has he been here tonight?
Sure. Hey, what gives with that guy?
What do you mean?
Oh, any other night he's by here 6 o'clock sharp. Tonight he comes past after 10. Buys a paper, a late edition. He's never done that before. In fact, I never seen him after 6.
Which way did he go? Did he say anything to you?
Nothing. All he does is buy the paper, walk away, and then he throws the paper away like he don't want it in the first place.
Which way did he go?
Straight up Michigan, that way. You got to admit it's unusual.
Yes, I admit it. Thank you. Come on, Tabby, move. So we went straight up Michigan Avenue that way. All we accomplished was to lose another 5 minutes of our time. And, brother, when it came to time, we were really scraping bottom. Those ever-loving cops were becoming more important by the second. One by one, we kept scratching names off the list. The cafeteria, where he sometimes stopped for coffee, but not tonight. The drugstore, where he stopped for stamps, but not tonight. Then the last place on the list, the very last. A little cocktail lounge on Michigan Avenue. One of those shishi joints where the lights are so soft and low you can't watch the bartender watering the booze. Our 2 hours were just about all used up.
Help you, sir?
Oh, pal, if you can, nobody else can.
I beg your pardon?
I'm looking for a man named Philip Warren. Do you know him?
Oh, yeah, quite well. I consider Mr. Warren one of my special customers.
Was he here tonight?
Well, why do you ask?
We don't have time for anything but yes or no answers. Please, yes or no.
Well, I really don't feel I'm at liberty to discuss with complete
Oh,
strangers.
Randy, it's not going to work. We're not going to find him.
Something wrong with Mr. Warren?
Well, to put it mildly, yes. Now, come on.
Well, if you'll tell me why you
No,
want
listen,
you
please.
see, it's not really proper to tell just anyone who happens to inquire.
Pal,
man.
unless we find him in the next 15 minutes, Warren is going to die.
You're joking.
Look at this girl here. If Warren dies, she'll... Never mind. Look at her face and tell me I'm joking.
Oh. All right. I didn't know. Mr. Warren's a good customer. You know, 2 strangers asked him.
Was he in here and how long ago?
Well, he came in a little while ago. I thought it was strange, you know, because he's late. He always comes in promptly at 5:35.
Never mind the details. How long ago?
About 10 minutes ago. He sat at the usual place, but then he didn't drink his sherry.
You know where he went?
No, I don't.
Did you see him go?
Oh, yeah, I saw him leave.
All right, now think. Has he ever said anything about going anywhere from here?
No. He was always very quiet. Oh, but I think his office is near here.
What makes you think that?
Well, he mentioned once he always leaves it at 5:30.
I see. Thank you. Where's the phone?
Near the entrance.
Come on, Ruth. Thank you.
What is it, Mr. Stone? What did you think of?
You got his home phone number?
Oh, yeah. Written down
Good.
here.
Thank you.
Why are you calling there?
I want to know where his office is.
But why?
All his life, punctual, methodical. Everything to him was a habit. Maybe it's a crazy hunch, but I could be right. He could have gone to his office.
Yes, you could be right.
Come on. Answer.
They've got to be there. They said they'd stay.
They don't answer. Ruth, do you remember where his office is? Must be on your records.
I don't remember. Oh, but we can go and get it.
Well, there's no time.
Try it again.
They're not there. I told them to stay there, the fools.
What?
The phone directory. I'd have a business listing for him. Warren. Philip Warren.
Is it?
No, only his home phone, the number I just called.
Mr. Stone.
What?
If Mrs. Warren isn't home, she might have gone to the police. Maybe they found him.
That could be it. Keep your fingers crossed that they found him alive.
Well, Randy Stone, snooping around this precinct for stories?
I've got one, Mac.
So?
Listen, I'm in a hurry. You've got to tell me something.
Why, sure, Randy. What?
There's a general call-out for a man named Philip Warren. Have you got anything on it?
I'll take a look. Warren? Philip Warren?
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, Mac, come on.
No, nothing here on that name, Randy.
Nothing. Mac, you're crazy. The call went out this afternoon. Every precinct has got it.
Well, this is one of them, but there ain't a thing here. Take a look for yourself. Here's the sheet.
No, I'll take your word for it, Mac. Listen, put out a call right away. He's got to be picked up.
He killed somebody?
He'll kill himself. You hear that, Mac? He'll kill himself if he's not found before midnight.
Before midnight? But that's just 15 minutes.
Yes, I know.
What did they say?
They didn't have a call for him.
Oh, that's crazy. They must have. Mrs. Warren, call the police.
Yeah.
Well,
Just a minute, Cabby. Look, Ruth. Let's figure it. That last cocktail lounge, the bartender said Warren came in every evening at 5:35, that he left his office at 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
That makes his office a 5-minute walk from the cocktail lounge.
And what he said to me, remember?
What?
He said he liked to sit in his office and listen to the chimes from the tower above his office.
Tower. 5 minutes from that cocktail lounge on Michigan Avenue.
Look up the avenue.
The Wrigley building. The clock in the Campanile Tower. Ruth, that's got to be it. We've got 10 minutes to get there and find the office. Cabby, Wrigley building, fast. The red in the traffic lights didn't mean a thing, but it still took us 3 minutes to get to the Wrigley building. When we got there, the hands of the clock in the Campanile Tower pointed to 7 of 12. And as we looked up, the larger hand crossed out another minute of Warren's life. One more went by before the night watchman heard me pounding at the doors. And then he opened them.
Hey, what's all the fuss?
Look, my name is Stone. Chicago Star.
Yeah, will that give you the right to pound on doors?
No, please, just listen.
Huh?
Does a man named Philip Warren have an office in this building?
No, he ain't got no office.
Are you sure?
Sure, of course I'm sure. Man named Warren works here. But he...
Philip Warren?
Sure, works for Western Research.
Did he come in tonight?
Why?
Stop asking questions, please. We've got to find him or he'll be dead.
But he was all right when he walked in.
All right, take us up to him.
Hey, you got to sign the in and out sheet just like everybody else.
All right. We'll sign it. Just take us up.
Yeah, okay. Got to use the freight elevator, though. Regular ones don't run at night. Not this one.
I don't care which one we use. Just get us up to Warren. I stopped looking at my watch while that freight elevator droned its deadly way up to the floor where Warren had his office. And then at last, we were there.
Western Research office is right down that way.
You'll call the police.
Huh?
Call the police. Tell them you're calling for me to get here as soon as they can.
Oh, sure, okay.
Thank you. Come on, Ruth.
There it is.
There's no light inside. It's open.
There's no one here.
Find the light switch.
I can't.
All right, never mind. I'll light a match. What's the matter?
I thought I saw someone at the desk when you lighted that match.
All right. Follow me.
Look.
Mrs. Warren.
What are you doing here?
Well, I thought of the same thing you did, and I...
Herman, you still here?
Yes, Paul. Mr. Stone is here, too.
Stone?
Yes. Turn on the light, Paul.
Why wasn't the light on in the first place?
Well, we thought if Philip came here and saw a light, he wouldn't come in.
That's right, Stone. We called the police. They had nothing yet, so we came here. We thought that
You called the police?
We just couldn't stay home and do nothing.
The police didn't tell you anything, huh?
No, everyone's looking for Philip.
I'll ask you nice, Paul. Where is he?
I don't understand.
Let's stop playing patty cake. Where is he?
I tell you, we don't know.
Sure you do. Why, you're one of his best friends. Where is he? Come on, give.
Well, we don't know where he is. We came here for the same reason
You
you
never
did.
called the police about your husband like you said. You didn't want them to find him.
You're insane, both of you.
Come on, Paul, boy. Tell me where he is.
I tell you, I don't know.
Now, let's try it again. Come on.
Stone, you're...
Never mind me. Let's stick to the subject of the moment. Where is he?
I told you.
Where is he? All very neat and clean, wasn't it? Let the old boy kill himself. Just don't do a thing about it.
Stop it, Stone, stop
You
it.
tell me when, Paul. How much insurance was he going to leave to your lady friend? You sure it isn't one of those non-cancelable policies, Paul? You know some of them don't pay off on suicide. Tell me where he is. Tell me.
Stop it. He's on the tower.
Top of the building. I saw him. He's going to jump.
Here's your boyfriend, Mrs. Warren. Catch! The tower, Ruth. Come on.
The elevator.
No time. Tower's only 2 flights up. Come on, I'll need you. It was 1 minute of 12 when we took the first step of the 2 flights. The run-up was like one of those dreams in which you stand aside and watch yourself. There was a queer, impersonal detachment about it that made the horror even more real. And then we were out on the roof.
Do you see him?
No, not yet.
What the...
Where?
Look, on the tower.
Warren! Wait! Warren!
Yes, I'll wait. Because it's not quite time. I've got to finish off today.
You've got to listen to me. You're not going to die. Do you hear me?
He said I was, but he wouldn't say when. He wouldn't tell me when. But I know, I can tell you. It's not quite 12, but what it is.
Warren, look here. Ruth, make him listen to you.
Mr. Warren! Look at me! You know who I am?
Yes, I know. I know everybody in the world. And I can see everybody from here.
Please! The report was a mistake. You're not going to die, do you hear? It was a mistake. Please, listen to me.
You're lying. You're all lying. Everybody lied to me all my life. You want me to suffer. I can't. I tell you I can't. And I know when I'm going to die.
But you're not. It was a mistake. My mistake, not the doctor's. I swear. We're not lying to you. I swear it.
Randy, wait. Oh, mother in heaven.
Get your boys ready, Mac.
They're all set. But him? What about him?
Keep talking, Ruth. He's watching you. Keep talking.
Mr. Warren, you're all right. Do you hear? You're not going to die.
He said I was. He told me.
It was a mistake.
Please don't lie to me, please.
It's the truth, Mr. Warren. You're not going to die. Do you believe it?
Oh, thank heaven. Thank heaven.
You can get him now, Mac. He'll hold on until your boys reach him. So here I sit, trying to write my story for tonight. But I keep hitting that one key. 0. 0, cipher, naught, nothing. Ah. Oh, dear. Someday, a nice, peaceful story is going to be written about a flock of happy little birds leisurely circling a burned-out world, wondering whatever happened to all those crazy two-legged characters who spent their lives knocking each other's brains out. What a nice thing to read that'd be. Yeah, but wait a second. Who'd write it? All right, you broken down two-bit philosopher. The makeup editor's got to go home, too. So let's get going. Hello? Give me a rewrite.
Night Beat, a new dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Tonight's story was written by Russell Hughes. Night Beat is edited by Larry Marcus and directed by Warren Lewis. Music by Frank Worth.
Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. Stories start in many different ways. This one began with locked doors and shuttered windows and ended in a coffin.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
Anyone want a nice, clean job? Here's one that'll take you on a shoe leather tour of Chicago to find a yarn that has to be written before an editor's blood pressure blows a hole in his hat. And that job is mine. Find one man or woman or child with a story to make good reading. 1 out of 3 million. Tonight the score stood Chicago 3 million, Randy Stone 0. And then I went north on Michigan Avenue and turned west on Cermak Road. It was about 11 when I came to Wentworth Avenue and Chinatown. And all of a sudden I was hungry for some of Chinyuk's fried wonton and almond duck. Don't ask me why. So I turned up Wentworth toward Chinyuk's little restaurant. Then I noticed something. Every door was closed, every window was shuttered, and not a soul walked the pavements. I got to Chinyuk's and it was closed. I knocked on the door. I heard the sound of a car pulling up at the curb. I turned. There was a prowl car. One of the cops got out, walked over to me. His partner stayed in the car, and I got a funny feeling that there was a gun pointed at me.
Hey, you. Come away from that door.
Sure.
That's good enough. Now, face the building.
Hey, what is this?
Face that way. Get your hands away from your sides.
Sure. What's the frisk for?
Your suit was bulging.
Well, it's a bad fit. You can't get much for $39.50 these days.
Now you're clean.
Well, I never carry a gun, officer.
What's your name?
Look, officer, what is all this?
I asked you a question.
Can I get my wallet?
Yeah. Be careful.
Oh, I certainly will. Here, all you need is in there.
Yeah? Randy Stone, huh?
Yeah, Chicago Star.
What are you doing in Chinatown?
Well, I got hungry.
Huh?
I wanted something to eat, preferably Oriental, so I came here.
Okay, Stone, but take this advice. Settle for a sandwich, preferably Occidental.
What's going on around here? This place is as dead as a morgue.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Now, look, Stone, don't stay here. Get out fast as you can and don't come back.
What's the reason for that?
We don't know. It's like waiting for a bomb to go off.
There's not a soul in sight. Every store, every restaurant, every shop is as tight as a drum.
I'd give $100 to see one Chinese on the street, just one.
Why'd you frisk me?
You get the word that a lot of hoods are moving in.
To Chinatown?
Yeah.
Why?
I told you, we don't know a thing. Now, take my advice, Stone, and move out fast. Because once things break loose here, they really break.
The prowl car moved off slowly and carefully. I stood there for a minute and I looked around. I got that funny feeling that a million eyes were watching me. Sure, I wanted to leave, but that old curiosity referred to in some circles as a news sense kept me from going. I headed toward the rear of Chinyuk's place through an alley. It was pitch dark in there, and I felt my way along until... I bumped into someone who'd disappeared. I felt the hair on the back of my neck hunting for a spot under my hat. And then I was in front of Chinyuk's back door, and I wanted inside fast. Chinyuk. Chinyuk, open up. Chinyuk.
Who is it?
Randy Stone. That you, Eileen?
Please go away, Mr. Stone.
Let me in, Eileen. I want to see your father.
Please go away. Please.
Listen, Eileen, I want to
My father is not here.
Well, where is he? Where can I find him?
I do not know.
Then let me wait for him.
I must not.
Well-
Please go away.
Let him in, Eileen.
Yes, Father.
Thank you.
Lock the door, Eileen. I am honored, Mr. Stone. Please to come in.
Thank you, Chinyuk.
I am sorry. I gave orders to my daughter to admit no one. She was obeying me.
Well, obedience is a virtue, Chinyuk.
In a world of little virtue, yes.
I went to the front door first. The place is locked.
You're an observing man, Mr. Stone.
Sure, all I had to do was try the door. I figured the rest out all by myself.
Just so.
Look, we've known each other a long time, Chinyuk.
5 years, perhaps.
That's right.
I value your friendship.
Well, thank you. What's going on, Yuk?
The world goes on.
There isn't a soul on the street outside, and everything is locked up. Eileen was scared to death to open the door, and I met a policeman outside.
Perhaps the officer can enlighten you.
No, he didn't know anything.
Knowing when to hold one's tongue is another admirable virtue.
In other words, you're as scared as Eileen.
Man is always afraid. Now leave Chinatown, Randy Stone. And above all, ask no more questions of anyone.
Well, I'm not afraid, Chinyuk. I'm not afraid because I know that no Chinese turns to violence.
That is true. No Chinese would harm you. But what about your own countrymen, Randy Stone?
Well, what about them?
I have said enough. Now go, if you wish to live. Go.
Underneath the old world courtesy, there was terror. Chinyuk wanted to talk, but something stopped him. Chinatown is like that. The Chinese settle their own disputes. Seldom, if ever, do they allow their quarrels to spill over into the world outside their settlement. But this was more than a dispute. It held all of Chinatown. I walked out and away knowing I'd learned nothing. And then a block away from Chinyuk's restaurant, I heard... and someone was following me. I slipped into a doorway and waited. Eileen!
Oh, Mr. Stone,
What are you doing out here?
I want to talk.
All right. Get in this doorway. Now, what's the matter?
I can only take a minute. My father does not know I came out.
Well, how did you manage it?
Through the restaurant.
I see. All right, Eileen, what do you want to talk about?
Help us, Mr. Stone.
Well, if I knew what was going on, I'd have an answer for that.
I will tell you. If this thing happens, many men will die. Not only here, but in New York, in Los Angeles, in San Francisco.
Wait a minute. A Tong war?
In 2 hours, the Tong banners will be brought out, and men who want to live will die.
What's the fight about?
A quarrel between 2 men of rival Tongs.
Well, that's happened before. Things have been cleared up without a war.
But this time there is something else.
What?
White men, evil men. They have...
That is enough, Eileen.
Oh, Father.
Hello, you.
Eileen, go home.
No, Father.
Saidi.
As you will, my father.
You will forget what she has said, Mr. Stone.
Oh, sure, forget it, but... How about you, Chinyuk?
What do you mean?
Well, you've seen Tong wars. They're nice, pleasant little affairs. Hatchet men, the eldest sons of families killed. Why?
You are a white man. We are Chinese.
Yes, I know, yes. East is east and west is west.
And never the twain shall meet.
Which is a polite way of telling me to mind my own business.
Get out of Chinatown.
After one more question.
No more.
Well, here it is anyway. Do you want a Tong war? Well?
Once I had a son to carry on my name. That son is no more, Randy Stone. The hatchet men of the old Tong saw to that.
Well, then why don't you...
Oh, get out, Randy Stone. Get out, or I shall once again look down upon one whom I love. You, Randy Stone.
Chinyuk turned and left. I watched the shadows swallow him. I heard the door to his restaurant close. It was a sound as final as the last name on the phone directory. The silence in the street was eerie. A waiting, watching silence. I walked to the end of the street, and I looked back. A light rain began to fall, and from somewhere in the back of my head, I recalled a poem. This is the time between life and death, the cold, bleak moment of emptiness after life and before eternity. And then I remembered something else. What the officer had said, what Ai Ling had told me about white men, evil men. Where did they fit in? Why was Chinyuk afraid to talk? Afraid or wouldn't? For the next 15 minutes, I made phone calls, and I got some answers that made more than a little sense. The answers sent me back toward Chinyuk's restaurant. I didn't get there.
Hey, you.
Huh? You talking to me?
Uh-huh. Hold it right there. Randy Stone?
Why?
No reason, just want to know.
Oh. Okay, I'm Stone. Now, who are you?
That don't make any difference.
Well, it's nice meeting you so long.
Let's get better acquainted, huh?
Well, sure. Tell me about yourself.
Nothing to tell. Now, if we're going to talk about you, that's different. It's not polite to walk away.
Okay, Buster, let's stop the chit-chat. I'm Randy Stone. You know who I am. Now, let's hear from you.
Don't get excited, Stone. Everything's all right.
I never get excited. It builds up my blood pressure.
Nice to hear you got blood. Want to keep it?
Oh, well, now we're getting somewhere.
Not here, but we will.
Meaning?
Let's take a ride.
By invitation?
So far, invitation. I'll even hold the door open for you while you climb in.
Oh, that's nice. If it starts to rain harder, you can put down a cloak for me.
Okay, Elizabeth. Let's go.
Well, where to, Sir Walter?
That's enough, Stone. You just get in the car and we'll take a ride. Come on.
What if I don't?
I'll withdraw the invitation and make it an order. One I can back up.
I see what you mean. Okay, where to?
You'll see when you get there.
I have to be back by midnight. My head changes into a pumpkin.
I like you. You're going to get along fine with the boss.
Oh?
Yeah. Here you are.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome. Before we get going.
Yeah.
It all depends on you whether you get back by midnight or get back at all.
You are listening to Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
Well, as they say, no two ways about it. My questions had stirred up a little interest outside of Chinatown. I was taken to the north side, to a penthouse, and there I met...
Hello. I'm Luke Farwell, Stone.
I've heard of you.
Good. Read your column in the Star. Good stuff.
Oh, thank you. I read your stuff in the papers, too.
Mine?
Yeah, front page items.
You believe all you read, Stone?
I always have, ever since my first fairy tale.
Here, sit down.
I'd rather stand.
Oh, come on, Stone. We've got to talk. You look uncomfortable standing there.
Well, I will admit I've been more comfortable.
Certainly. Sit down. Oh, drink?
No, thank you.
Cigar?
Have I got one coming?
Beg pardon?
Well, cigars, you get them when you hit the bullseye or ring the bell.
Oh, I see. All right, Stone. Maybe you've come close.
Maybe too close, huh?
Nobody gets too close.
Yeah, so I've heard.
You don't seem surprised you were brought here.
Well, I asked questions. News got around to you. I expected this, Farwell.
I see. Mm-hmm. How much does the Star pay you?
Enough?
$5,000 a week?
Oh, sure, but they make the check out for a smaller amount on account of taxes.
Of course. Well, here's a week's salary, according to me. $5,000.
Am I worth that?
To forget this story, yes.
Do I have a story?
You do. You ask questions, put two and two together.
Yes, so I did. Want me to tell you what it adds up to?
I'm interested.
Okay, here it is, Farwell. You got your fingers in a lot of rackets. Now you'd like to move in on the Fantan and the Mahjong games in every Chinatown in the country. And so far they've kept you out, right?
Go on.
Yes, I will. And now 2 Chinese of rival Tongs have quarreled, and the Tongs are ready to fight. It's an affair of honor between them, but to you it's a chance. So you've hired out your hoods and killers, your muscle men, and your dirty torpedoes.
That's enough.
No, not quite. It's an old story, Farwell. Divide and conquer, play one side against the other, then move in and take over, no matter who gets killed.
And who cares about a few China?
Well, maybe I do.
Misplaced altruism.
Yeah? Well, it's still almost 2 hours before the deadline, before the killing starts. It's not too late to settle that dispute, to show them what they're doing. Letting you in for a minute so you can stay there for the rest of their lives.
Stay out of it, Stone.
Maybe not.
You think your newspaper connection brings you an immunity another person may not enjoy.
I always lived in a dream world.
Exactly. Excuse me.
Did you ring for me, Mr. Farwell?
Yes, Charlie, I did. Mr. Stone is having a dream. Take him somewhere and wake him up.
You take a roll of nickels in a fist, a piece of rubber hose in expert hands. No, you don't break any bones. You don't even bring blood. You don't have to. But the one who takes the beating wishes it had been a nice, quick slug from a gun. I woke up somewhere along the lakefront. The rain was coming down in sheets. It felt good. It was clean and it was cool. I got to my feet and the buildings leaned over, closing in on top of me. It was funny. All I could see was Farwell's face smiling. It was in front of me all the way back to Chinatown in the cab. Still in front of me when I knocked again at Shinyok's back door.
Who?
Open up, Eileen. Come on, open up.
Mr. Stone.
Yeah, it's Mr. Stone. Where's your father?
He is here.
All right, will you close that door and lock it?
You are hurt.
Well, I felt better. Hello, Shinyok. I'm back.
Oh, you would not listen to me.
No, I wouldn't, so I got paid off.
Eileen, bring medicine.
Yes, Father.
You did a good job on me, didn't I, Yok?
I'm sorry. Here, sit down.
Thank you.
You concerned yourself with that which I warned you was better left alone.
Okay, say I told you so, so I stuck my nose in, and this is what happened.
You were dealing with violent men.
Uh-huh. And so are you, Shinyok. You know who's in back of those hoods hired by one of the Tongs?
I can guess.
It's not a guessing game anymore. It's Farwell.
Yes.
You know?
I know.
Well, then you know what he wants and what he's after. You know that he's
Here are the medicines, Father.
Good.
No. Get that stuff away and listen to me.
But your wound...
I know they hurt. Yes, they hurt. I've been worked over by a couple of thugs. I saw Farwell.
You went to him?
Well, he sent for me.
The police?
Tell the police Farwell will have 1 million witnesses to swear he was in Florida an hour ago.
Yes, that is so.
And what if I write my story after the damage is done, Shinyok?
Huh? It will be just a story.
Yeah, and Farwell will have what he wants. Look, Shinyok, how much time is there before the killing starts?
Less than half an hour.
Well, you got time then. You got time to stop it.
Randy Stone, why do you concern yourself with this?
Why? I'm a reporter, remember the story?
No, there is more. Because of friendship for me?
Well, maybe I just hate men like Farwell.
Yes, of course, but...
But what, Shinyok?
Randy Stone, it will be hard for you to understand. But that which is bringing evil to me and my people is a thing of honor between 2 men.
Honor? Oh, sure, honor. All right, Shinyok, you better save up a lot of it. Put it in jars and bottles so you'll have some of it to look at after Farwell's got his hooks in. Got him in deep enough to tell all of you how to breathe and when. All right, Shinyok, I've said my piece. Now I'm going to do what you wanted me to do in the first place. I'm getting out of Chinatown. I'm going to stay.
Wait.
Yeah?
When I was a boy, I was told, and I believe, that we Chinese were inventing paper and a compass when your ancestors were savages. Perhaps that is so. But now I find myself learning something from a white man. That all mankind is one.
Well, the lesson is free, Shinyok. Goodbye.
I'm not finished. Eileen.
Father?
Attend Mr. Stone's wounds, see that he is helped, and then bring him to the place of meeting.
Father, you are...
Obey me.
Yes, Father.
What are you talking about, Shinyok?
Honor is not held cheaply. nor is a debt incurred to be forgotten. No, honor is held dear, so dear that before the night is over, one of two men must die.
Before I knew what had happened, Chinyuk was gone. Without speaking, Eileen did as her father asked. I knew better than to try to get her to explain. And then she took me through the dark, twisting back ways. Not once did we have to go into the streets. And I kept thinking of what Chinyuk had said, that one of two men must die. And I had learned a secret that was dangerous. More than once as Eileen guided me, I thought of getting away and out of this, but how? I was lost in the maze of hallways and strange buildings. And then we came to a door, and Eileen knocked. A Chinese I didn't know opened the door and looked at me hard for a moment, and then spoke to Eileen.
Follow him.
What about you?
I may not go. Please, follow him.
All right. I know enough Cantonese. He had told me to sit down, and I did. I was in a big room filled with Chinese. They saw me. They looked at me in silence. All those eyes studied me curiously, but with a strange, detached curiosity. And then I saw Chinyuk, dressed in the fashion of old China. He walked to me.
Randy Stone, you will hear first a story. Then you will speak.
Chinyuk.
Listen. Fengler! We will speak in a foreign tongue so that my friend will understand. Randy Stone, a long time ago, two men tied their fortunes together in business. One was Ali. You see him there. The other was Chinyuk.
You?
Ali and Chinyuk were of rival tongues. Yet the strange ways of business forced them together. Ali and Chinyuk had put aside so much money so that each could be buried in China. But now, because of misfortune, there is only enough for one to return to China to be buried among his ancestors.
Then that's what the quarrel is about?
Bitterness came upon these two men. They spoke words of hatred until...
Until they're willing to fight about it and bring on a Tong war?
Honor will not be satisfied unless the tongue that wins is that of Ali or Chinyuk.
I told you, Chinyuk, neither Tong will win. The only winner will be Farwell. He'll control you through this. First the Fantan and the Mahjong, and then the restaurants. Everything every Chinese does will be dictated by Farwell. I've seen it happen in other places. Why not here?
Yes, but there is a debt we Chinese owe you, Randy Stone.
You don't owe me anything.
You could have given your life.
He wouldn't have killed me.
That you did not know. Ali, will you honor us by coming forward?
I am here, Chinyuk.
Ali, look at this white man who is my friend, who by his actions has become the friend of all of us. There is a debt. What say you, Ali?
There is a debt, Chinyuk.
And what of the payment of the debt, Ali?
What say you, Chinyuk?
I am willing to let fate decide our quarrel.
So say I.
Ah. Has everyone heard this, men of the snake and the hawk? It is decided. Bring cakes and wine.
It was like a strange dream. The Chinese of the two tongues waiting. The polite, time-honored ritual. A plate full of rice cakes and a flask of wine. And then I guessed one of the cakes was poisoned. Only one. Then silently, Chinyuk and Ali each chose a cake and ate and sipped the wine. And then another cake. In silence, the two Chinese ate until no more cakes were left. And then...
It is finished, Ali.
It is finished, Chinyuk.
Then listen, men of the hawk and men of the snake. It has been decided. I say let there be no violence. Ali?
Let there be no violence.
Chinyuk.
Yes, my friend.
Will this hold? Will everyone go through with it?
We have pledged our words. There is no more to be said. Ali?
Yes, Chinyuk.
In a few moments, one of us will mount the dragon. Let there be no rancor between us. No bitterness now.
It is written, even the tiger and the deer may drink at the same stream.
So be it.
So be it. So.
He's dead, Chinyuk.
Yes, Ali is dead. Now go, you men of the hawk and the snake. Go and tell those of evil who have come among us that the thing is finished.
Without a word, the Chinese left the room. Chinyuk and I were left alone with Ali. For a moment, Chinyuk looked down, and then silently he led me away, back through the twisting passages, back to his restaurant. And there...
Eileen.
Yes, my father.
Bring tea.
Yes, my father.
Randy.
What, Chinyuk?
The debt is paid.
Yes, the debt is paid. Total for the night, some bruises and one dead man.
Ah, but this is better than many dead men, Randy.
Oh, I know it is. But Look, Chinyuk,
Yes, my friend. What is it?
Well, you know how I mean this. Ali... Well, I'm sorry he had to die, but Well, I'm glad it wasn't you.
It is strange what men will do to reach heaven.
Yes, 1,000 different religions in the world, and each tries for one thing. The same goal.
In my religion, it is easier for a man to attain heaven if he rests among his ancestors.
And you... Well, Ali is dead, and you're left. Well, there's nothing funny.
No, nothing. Except that you still do not understand. You see, even now, Ali's body is on its way to China. Ali won. I lost.
East is east and west is west, and never the twain shall meet. But they met tonight in a strange way. Someone once wrote, the best study of mankind is man himself. But where do you start? How do you tie together all the loose ends that different people have hanging around? I guess you begin as Chinyuk said, by remembering that when you get right down to it, all mankind is one. Copy, boy.
Night Beat, a new dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Tonight's script was written by Russell Hughes. Night Beat is edited by Larry Marcus and directed by Warren Lewis. Music is by Frank Worth. Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the night beat for the Chicago Star. Stories start in many different ways. This one began with a flash of a knife and a woman's scream, and ended up with a new kind of love and a woman's tears.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
You ever notice how when the sun goes down, the chemistry of the whole earth starts a new reaction? The flowers close with the shop doors, sunshine leaves town with the buses, and the birds settle down like the dust covers on the department store counters. At night, perfume replaces the flowers, neon takes up the task of the sun, and the birds that take flight are the hearts of people looking for love and the good tomorrow. Someone said the night is a mantle that covers the weary and a cave of excitement for the adventuresome. He forgot to add that the night is also a mask for the evil. I was out making my rounds, covering my beat for a story. I talked with a bootblack here, a hat-check girl there, a head waiter or two, assorted cabbies, and came up with nothing but a few shreds of scandal that were better left unreported. When I turned onto Harding Street, there was a story for me, ready-made. But it was a story I was sorry I had to report. A woman was lying on the sidewalk with a frightened look in her eyes. The shoulder of her dress was ripped open, and there was a red stain growing on her side. I walked up to the edge of the crowd that seemed to pour out of nowhere, and I pushed my way through. I'm from the press, Charlie.
Oh, hello, Randy. Didn't
Hi.
even look at your face.
Please stop the bleeding.
What happened, Charlie?
Said she was waiting for a taxi. There were 3 or 4 people with her. Before she knew...
Knife, you do slash at me.
Try to lie quietly, will you, lady? It'll be better. Now you know. The 14th case like this in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know all about him. They call him the Slasher. Like a good newspaper man should, I got the names, the places, the what, why, and how, and then I phoned them in. Whoever did it moved into the darkness so fast nobody could get a good look at him. And the man the whole police force had tried to find for 3 weeks had come and gone like a vampire phantom. And another woman, they were always women, lay on the ground wounded. The whole thing disgusted me, and after the police had cleared things up, I went into Mike Creshaw's place for something cold to take the hot, dry taste out of my mouth.
Yeah, wouldn't that curdle your hair?
Yeah?
Right on this very street. I'd like to get my hands on that screwball. Just one hand. I'd fix him so he wouldn't be able to cut paper dolls.
I hope they catch him soon.
Why don't you newspaper men do something? You got the power in this town.
Well, nobody knows what he looks like, where he comes from, or where he goes. What would you do if you were a newspaper reporter?
Well, now that you mention it, I don't know. But sometime, somewhere, they're going to catch him. And things are going very bad with this gent. Very bad indeed. Here, let me put a head on it.
Thank you. Mike, tell me, where'd you get those new murals on the walls?
All right, huh? Yeah, we had them done just last week. The place looks like a magazine cover, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And look at those legs.
Who did them?
Oh, some joker named Rick. Rick Bennett. Works over at the Hofbrau now. I got him the job. Me.
That's pretty good-looking art for a bar.
Hey, you owed us a tab. We let him pay it off that way.
What's the matter with the face of that girl, the one on the right?
Hey, you know, I've been wondering about that myself. I think he must have made a mistake somewhere. What do you think?
Maybe he did make a mistake.
Yeah, but look at that shape.
Rick Bennett at the Hofbrau, huh?
That's the guy. Does sketching.
Thank you, Mike. I'll see you later. I didn't tell Mike what I was really thinking because it sounded too far-fetched to be true. But that mistake on her face looked to me like a scar. Why would a guy paint a scar on a beautiful woman's face? I dropped into the Hofbrau to get a look at this Rick Bennett. He was sitting in a corner booth with a pad of sketching paper, some charcoal, and some pastels. None of them were busy. I walked over. How much does a sketch cost?
$1.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a deal. Here's your buck.
Caricature or serious?
Oh, serious. I'm going to give this to my girl.
Don't waste your time. Turn your head, will you? A little more. Okay.
You been around here long?
3 weeks.
Been here all night?
Just came in 10 minutes ago.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I'm an orphan. I got 3 teeth missing. I was a shot put champion in high school, and my favorite food is liver and onions. Anything else?
No, not right now. He finished the picture in a few minutes. Without a word, he handed it to me. It was a perfect and talented reproduction, except for one thing. Down the left side of my face was a long, jagged scar.
It's my trademark. Want your buck back?
No, not especially. This is the strangest trademark I ever heard of. The reporter hears of a lot of strange things.
What? Hey, you a newspaper man?
Oh.
Yeah, give me the sketch. Yeah. There. It's clean. No scar. And here's your dollar back. This one's free.
Oh, thank you. I get this preferential treatment just because I'm a reporter?
That's right. If I'm going to ask a favor of somebody, I have to use better manners. If you don't mind, I thought maybe you could help me.
What's your problem?
I came here looking for a girl. Yeah. Ever seen her?
No.
Her name is Selma Vasek. She's beautiful. Too beautiful for her own good. She sings and dances a little.
Well, I don't dance.
Well, maybe you've been in a nightclub somewhere and she danced by.
Can't seem to place her.
It's the most important thing in the world that I find this girl. Being a reporter, you get around. You should know a lot of people.
I do, but I'm afraid she isn't one of them.
Selma's somewhere in Chicago. I know it. I'm not leaving this town until I find her.
All right, calm down, calm down. Why do you want to find her?
You ever hear of love? You know, boy meets girl. We had a little quarrel. Boy loses girl. She left. But I want to see her and make it all up to her.
Got an extra copy of her picture?
I've got hundreds of them. I can give them to you in watercolors and oils and tempera and pastels in mud, plaster, or blood.
And if I happen to see her?
You tell her Rick Bennett, the love of her life, is looking for him. That Rick Bennett hasn't forgotten and that he's got something for her.
There was something about his recent appearance in town and his morbid interest in scarred flesh that made me creep a little along the spine. It seemed to me that for her own good, I might be wise to look up the girl whose name on the picture read Selma Vasek. But where do you start in a city of 5 million with just a picture and a suspicion? And I remembered Bennett had said Selma Vasek was a dancer. I knew nightclub entertainers got jobs through agents, so I began looking up every agent I could find at that hour. On my 12th one, little Al O'Brien, I got a nibble.
And now it seems to me, Randy, if you dyed this hair brunette and plucked those eyebrows a little and starved this girl for a few weeks, she'd be a dead ringer for a dame on the floor show at the Blue Marlin.
Are you sure?
Oh, of course, you'd have to change the name, too. The dame at the Blue Marlin is called Honey Kane.
The Blue Marlin was 5 minutes from Little Al's by cab, and I journeyed over. It was a drab joint needing paint and a new B in the sign and better liquor. I cased the chorus once, spotted Honey Kane, and went in the stage door. I caught her just coming off the floor.
All right, one side, Buster.
Selma.
My name is Honey Kane.
Didn't it used to be Selma Vasek?
Go on, stop bothering me before I call some of the boys.
All right, maybe I made a mistake, honey, but if you are Selma Vasek, I have a message from Rick Bennett.
What connection do you have with Rick Bennett?
Well, not much.
All right, come on, here, in the prop room. I want to talk. All right. So I'm Selma Vasek. Now, who are you and what's with Rick Bennett?
I'm with the Chicago Star. My name is Randy Stone. I met Rick tonight. He said he was looking for you. I was lucky enough to find you.
I hope he's never that lucky. Mister, that guy is crazy. He's been following me from one city to another for 3 years. Never catching me, but always following.
You know him?
Yeah, we grew up in the same neighborhood. He fell in love with me when he was 5 years old. I was 4. Laugh. I don't blame you.
Well, I fell in love when I was 3.
I did all my dating with Rick until I was 17. Then I went for another guy. Alfred Dimitri, his name was. One day, Dimitri ran his car into a tree. I was in it, and my head went right through the windshield. That was the last I saw of Dimitri. But Rick stuck by me. I was months recovering. I never did.
You'll be all right, Selma. Honest, you will. You'll be okay.
I won't. Look at me. I look like an old witch. One side of my face slashed open with an ugly scar.
It doesn't make any difference. People love you for what you are.
Love me? People won't even look at me. Oh, Ricky, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I might as well kill myself.
Don't say that, Selma. I meant it when I said it. It won't make any difference to me. I'll take care of you for the rest of your life. I'll always take care of you. I love you like nobody else could.
Oh, Rick. Rick, please be nice to me. Please.
Oh, don't worry any more about that scar, Selma. If it's the last thing I do in this world, I'll fix it. I promise you.
Kept his word, because as far as I can see, the scar's completely removed from your face.
Oh, there isn't a trace of it left. Look at me. I'm supposed to be a beautiful girl.
You are?
Don't make fun of me. You know how I lost the scar? Ricky worked like he never worked in his life. For 16 months, he sweated over his first important oil painting to enter into a competition. He was poor and hungry and couldn't even buy enough oils. And he won the competition, $5,000.
And that was the money that fixed your face?
It took every cent.
It was quite a sacrifice.
Rick never had another success. He just went on struggling, and I couldn't stand it anymore.
Couldn't stand watching him suffer or never having anything for yourself?
Why lie? It was mostly not having anything myself. Guys were beginning to look at me in that sweet way all over town, and all of a sudden I knew how to get money. Get up on the stage, behind the lights, become a rich, famous star. So I threw Rick over and left town. He's been chasing me ever since.
You wouldn't consider going back to him?
Go back to him, me? What have I got to bring him now? I'm not the same girl he was in love with. I haven't got the scar on my face anymore. I've got it inside. I'm another person. And the names for it aren't very nice. When he sees what I've turned out to be, I think he might want to kill me.
You really think that, Selma?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Selma, would you rather I didn't tell Rick where you are?
I'll pray for you every night if you don't tell him.
All right, it's your life. I took it slow and thoughtful back to the Hofbrau. Rick was strange and Selma was strange, and the whole world seemed tortured at the moment. I guess I should never have poked into their lives, but I couldn't escape the feeling that there was something about Rick Bennett that bore looking into. At the Hofbrau, they said he went home to his rooming house. I went there.
Oh, Stone, the newspaper, Bug. What are you doing here?
May I come in?
Sure. You want another portrait?
No. I think you know why I'm here, Bennett.
Yeah. I don't suppose you had any luck.
As a matter of fact, I did. I found her, just like that.
You found Selma? Selma, you found her? Well, where is she? Come on. Well, come on, where is she?
I can't tell you.
Can't tell me after I've been looking for months and months for her? Well, come on, spit it out, will you? Don't waste time.
If you'll sit down and be quiet, I'll tell you about it.
You tell me about it right now, or I'll tear you inside out.
This is going to get you nowhere.
Talk. Talk! I'll break every bone you have.
Now, you want to get up and talk sense now?
All right. Don't tell me. I never needed anybody before. I don't need anybody now. All right. Don't tell me. I'll find her myself. When I do, she'll wish she never saw me.
Put down that knife, Bennett.
Yeah? You come within a foot of me, reporter. You'll be sliced in half now.
Get away from that door. Go on, move!
He ran out of the room, the knife still in his hand, and his face a picture of twisted madness. And as he closed the door, for the first time I noticed the room was filled with dozens of pictures of Selma Bassett. And every one of them had a long, jagged scar painted on the face. I realized at last what I didn't want to. Rick Bennett was the slasher.
NBC is bringing you Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Tonight marks the return of Duffy's Tavern. The welcome mat is out at Duffy's, and your host will be the ungrammatical Archie, played by Ed Gardner. As usual, Duffy won't be there, but he'll be represented by his charming daughter, Miss Duffy.
Clifton Finnegan and Eddie the waiter also will be on hand to join in the mischief with Archie. It's top Friday evening listening later tonight with Duffy's Tavern over most of these NBC stations. And a reminder, this Sunday on NBC, it's The Big Show, an hour and a half of the best in comedy, music, and drama. And now back to Night Beat and Randy Stone.
As I stood in Rick Bennett's miserable room looking at the scarred picture of Selma Bassick everywhere, my first fear that he was going to run right out and find her disappeared after a little thought. Rick Bennett had no way of knowing where I'd interviewed her. I didn't think he should be running around the streets with a knife in his hand, so I called the police.
Central Division, Sergeant Friends.
Sergeant, my name is Randy Stone. I'm with the Chicago Star. Can you take something down? Height, about 5'11". Weight, about 170. Late 20s. Hair, black. Eyes, gray, I think. The last seen wearing a dark blue suit, no hat, no gloves. His name is Richard Bennett. He's the slasher. He's the slasher. I just tangled with him, and he was carrying a knife. Also, I ran into him 2 blocks from where a woman was slashed tonight, and also, I've talked with him long enough to think that he thinks he's got a good reason for slashing people.
Who'd you say this was?
Randy Stone, Chicago Star.
You sober?
Yes.
Where does this Bennett guy live?
Well, he used to live where I'm calling from now, but I don't think he'll be back here.
Okay, Stone, thanks for the tip-off. We'll get an all points out on him right away. Shouldn't be hard to pick him up.
After that, I jumped into my car and headed for the Blue Marlin to have another interview with Honey Kane, alias Selma Bassick. The neons were out when I got there, but a grizzly old man with a red face was mopping the floor.
Everybody's gone home, mister. Open again 5 tomorrow afternoon. Come back then. We'll really be twirling then.
Look, Pop, I'm trying to get a hold of one of the girls in the show.
Who isn't? And who you calling Pop?
All right.
If I could land something better than mopping floors, I'd want to get a hold of one of them myself.
Oh, please. Look, her name is Honey Kane. Do you know her?
Sure. I do it up in my tails and haul out my Cadillac and take her out champagne drinking every night. Go on, beat it. I got my mopping to do.
Where can I find out where she lives? I've got to get in touch with her.
Try Julius. He knows those things.
Julius?
His stage manager. Real short, yellow-livered guy. He don't let me stand in the wings and watch the last show. Wouldn't hurt him nothing doing that.
Yeah. Where can I find him?
In the hobnob across the street, being a big shot.
I found Julius across the street being a big shot. It was intermission for the little orchestra that was playing there, and he was standing behind the vibraharp playing lost chords. A bored bartender and a drunk passed out in an empty booth were his audience. Nobody looked up when I came in, most of all Julius, but he did answer me.
Yeah, I'm Julius.
I just came from the Blue Marlin. The janitor there said you could help me.
Yeah? He's a dirty old man.
I'm trying to locate one of the girls in your show.
A lot of people are, brother. Now, why don't you...
I went all through that with the janitor. I don't want to go through it with you. Now, my name is Stone. I'm a reporter. I'm on a story. I want to talk to Honey Kane. Do you have her address?
Yeah, Mr. Reporter on a story. I got her address. But I ain't handing it out to you. You talk too smart. You move too quick. And you're sort of a jerk. I just don't like you.
And I don't like you, mister. Well, I want that address, and I'm going to get it. How I get it's up to you.
Wait a minute.
Tell me where Honey Kane lives and make it fast.
All right. Let go of me. Got a book. Keep it on me all the time. I always know what you guys who go prancing around for dames want to know.
Come on, get it out.
I don't need to. I remember hers.
Yeah?
1312 Commodore, apartment 16C. Honey never gave me no tumble. You guys must be doing some good, huh? Yeah, she'll get around to me before...
What guys?
You're the second one been around here asking for Honey tonight.
Who else was asking?
A wise guy just like you. Came in 15 minutes ago. He talked smart, too, and was sort of a jerk. But he wasn't with no newspaper. His name was Bennett.
Rick Bennett. Where's the phone? When Rick Bennett had run from his room with a knife in his hand, I didn't think he had any way of locating Selma Bassick, but I'd underestimated his ability to trace my steps. Maybe it was because he'd been looking for her such a long time he knew the ins and outs. Anyhow, he was on the right track and she was in danger. I phoned back to Central Division and told them the whole setup, and then I went over to the address Julius gave me. A room was in the back on the 3rd floor. 2 uniformed policemen were already there inspecting the ripped bedspread and the slashed furniture. Selma was nowhere in sight.
Oh, I'm Sergeant Knight. You're the guy who phoned in about this?
Yeah, that's right.
If he's on foot, he ought to be somewhere around the neighborhood.
What do you figure?
Came up here, took her with him, maybe. I don't know. You can never tell what this kind will do until they do it. We need a description on her. Can you fill it in?
Well, about 5'4", dyed blonde hair, 100 pounds, 25 maybe.
Anything else?
Yeah, she might be wearing a slash like all her pictures.
Where can I get those?
Rick Bennett's rooming house. Here's the address.
Charlie.
Yeah, Tom.
You better hop to this address and pick up some pictures of the girl. And get out a pickup on her as soon as you have a good description.
Right. See you.
Okay, Stone. Thanks. We'll give you a buzz when we pick him up. Or her up, or something. You'll want the story.
Yes, I'll want the story, Sergeant. I suppose I wanted the story. I don't know how I felt. Maybe I was seeing things like Slasher Found, art student revenges himself on prodigal sweetheart. It wasn't a story for the papers. It was a case history for a psychologist, something that had come under traumatic shock and the byproduct of sadism. It was 4:30 in the morning, and I didn't like the story or the night or the people, so I went home to my own apartment to get away from everything.
Oh, Mr. Stone, I didn't know where else to go.
I didn't get away from anything. It was Selma Bassick, without makeup, without coat, and without hope. She looked pretty well shaken. How did you get in here?
I called the paper and told them I had a story for you. They gave me your address. Then I woke the manager and told him I was your sister.
Sister, huh? That's a good one.
Yeah, I know I don't look like anybody's sister. But I had to come somewhere. Why did you tell Rick where I was?
I didn't tell him. I don't know how he found out.
I was just coming up the stairs to my place when I saw him on the landing. I turned around and came here. Let me stay here for a while, then I'll go away.
He's out looking for him.
And I'm scared of him. I'm scared to death.
Well, you ought to be scared. Right down to your double-dealing roots, you ought to be scared. The boy loved you once with everything he had and every way he could. Look what you made him. Look what you did to him.
I know it. I know it.
Yeah, all because of you. He was probably a nice kid once with nice, normal, warm feelings. Now they might have to shoot him down before they bring him in. If they get him without that, he'll have to be trotted off to the state institution to see if they can pin him back together again. What did you come here for?
I came here because you're the only man. The only man who's ever talked nice to me since Rick. I guess I'd better go.
No, stay. I'll phone the police and tell them you're safe. You can't go out now. There's a chance you'd run into him before they pick him up.
Thanks. Thanks.
Sure. You want a drink?
No, thanks.
Well, I do.
Stone!
It's Ricky.
Oh, boy.
Let me in! Let me in, Stone! Let me
Look,
in!
there's a phone. There's a phone in the next room. Dial O. Talk low. Tell the police.
He'll kill me.
Stay in that room. Lock the door. Keep quiet. Go on.
All right, I'll do it.
All right, just a minute. Oh, hello, Rick. Now, you've had a big night.
Where is she, Stone? Where's Selma?
I thought you went out looking for her.
I did, and believe it or not, I found out where she works and where she lives, but she isn't at any of those places.
Oh, that's too bad. Have a drink.
Listen to me, wise guy. You phoned her or warned her that I was after her, and you know where she's hiding. Now, tell me. Tell me where she is, Stone, or I'll carve you up.
The same knife I'd seen him grab from the table in his room was still in his hand. This time it looked about 3 feet long and several shades shinier. He held it waist level, cupped in his right hand, and he walked toward me. I didn't know whether to take a chance and try to get at him or stand my ground and try to argue him out of it. Either way, he was a madman. He had a knife, and he looked like he was going to use it.
Ricky, stop it.
What? Selma.
I'm the one you want, not Mr. Stone. He's never done anything to you. I'm the one who's hurt you.
Selma, use your head.
You shut up, Stone. She's right. Come here, Selma. You've changed. Your eyes are tired. You're different.
Yeah,
You're
Ricky.
different.
Yeah, I'm different.
But you're still you. I used to love you, Selma. Now I hate the sight of your pretty face. pretty face.
Pretty face, do you call this pretty?
Yeah. It's still pretty enough.
Stop it, both of you.
Let him go, Mr. Stone. I deserve it. Well, Ricky?
Yeah. You deserve it, Selma, and you...
Well, go ahead, Ricky. There's nothing anyhow. Nothing.
I can't, Selma. I can't do it. I've looked for you all this time. I've wanted you so much. And hated you so much for the thing you did to me. I can't, Selma. I still love you.
Well, that did it. I've run into some weird ones in my time, but this was the topper. I put in a call to police headquarters. The same people answered.
Central Division, Sergeant Friend.
Sergeant, Randy Stone again. I got your boy for you. He's in my apartment. The address is...
We're drunk.
What? Hey, what is this?
We picked up the slasher a half hour ago. And, brother, your description. He's blonde, short, wore a light suit, and drove a tan convertible. Sleep it off, Stone.
But I tell you, I got him right here. He almost slashed...
Almost. Yeah. We caught our guy doing a job.
But...
Sleep it off, Stone. Good night.
Yeah, that's how mistakes almost happen. But that isn't all. A psychiatrist examined Rick Bennett. He prescribed love, affection, honesty, and rest. He said it might take a long time. And Selma Vassick said she didn't have anything to do for the next 50 or 60 years. So the last I saw of the two of them, they were looking around for a preacher. Me, I looked around for a moral. I hate to say it, but I can't think of anything else. A definition of love. Love is so close to hate, and hate is so close to love, that if you find yourself hating someone you love, you're liable to love someone you hate. That makes sense? Love never does, people. Copy, boy.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy, is produced, edited, and directed by Warren Lewis. Tonight's story was written by E. Jack Newman and John Michael Hayes, with music by Frank Worth. The part of Rick Bennett was played by Jeff Corey. Selma was Joan Banks. Others in tonight's cast were Sid Miller, Nestor Paiva, Jerry Hausner, and Lou Krugman. Frank Lovejoy can currently be seen in the Warner Brothers picture Breakthrough, co-starring with David Bryan and John Agar. Night Beat came to you from Hollywood.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank Lovejoy. Tonight ends our present cycle of Night Beat. In the very near future, we're hoping to be back on the air with a new series. Would you watch your local paper for the time and date? And meanwhile, if you've enjoyed our stories as much as we've enjoyed bringing them to you, perhaps we'll hear from you. Until then, good night.
Three chimes mean good times on NBC. There's fun and laughs with the chimes tonight when Duffy's Tavern returns to the air. As usual, Duffy won't be around, but Archie, played by Ed Gardner, will definitely be on hand to spread his doubtful advice where it does the most damage. And, of course, Archie's colleagues in comedy, Miss Duffy, Clifton Finnegan, and Eddie the waiter will be there. And a reminder, for Mystery, it's the Man Called X on Saturday nights. Stay tuned for Monty Woolley as the Magnificent Montague on NBC.